Hi, this is Pat Moorhead with More Insights and Strategy, and we are here for another FinTech and Retail Tech Friday. Didn't that just roll right off the tongue? And I'm here with Vice President and Principal Analyst of the Retail Tech and FinTech category, Melody Brew. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. Just rolling into Easter here. I don't have any little kids anymore. I don't have any grandkids yet. So we're just going to be hanging out at the lake house on the jet skis and the boat, just chilling.
So you don't have an office full of Easter basket stuff like I do. If you could see the pile of Easter basket stuff that I have right here, Easter baskets for 7 children.
Now, we might do Easter baskets for the kids who show up just because they really like that. Valentine's Day came and went, and both of my daughters were like, what gives, Daddy? And that daddy thing's a southern thing. So,
Yeah.
but still, I am going to continue to get them Valentine's Day gifts until they ask me not to. So
That's sweet. Yeah, my kids really do appreciate they still love the Easter baskets and the Christmas stockings and all the things, and they'll just continue to believe until they stop getting them, I think.
yeah, and my kids are absolutely believers in as long as as long as it's filled with like Louis Vuitton or something. So
Yes.
has
I'll,
changed a
I'll
little
believe
bit.
for that.
Yeah. So hey, we have a exciting show here. We're talking about making IT green. We're going to talk about new Cisco Green Pay initiative. We're going to talk about the new pay cycle, stuff that Wagestream is doing and PayActiv and some other fintechs. We're going to talk about a retail moment down under at McDonald's. And we're going to talk about the acronym of the week, but I'm not going to blow it. You have to wait for this. So, Mel, let's just dive right in. What is going on? I mean, we've got fintech, we have green. Why not just put them together for Cisco Green Pay?
Right. So this is a little bit the naming here is a little bit confusing because Cisco calls this green pay. It actually has nothing to do with how you pay, but this is a green initiative, and it does come from their financing arm, Cisco Capital. But I think I like this because it's a kind of a good way to point out the way that IT is sort of turning green, but also the way that financial services has come into the IT sector and made, kind of addressed some of these ESG goals and the sort of circular economy of, recycling, bringing back in, end of life products, being able to upgrade, all of the sustainability goals and green initiatives that companies are now sort of mandated in some parts of the world, and I think will be everywhere at some point. But they just launched this, and there's all kinds of incentives that they have. It's a 5% discount on whatever that is already negotiated, so 5% on top of that. Plus, there's no interest payments, so predictable payments on that. And then once the end of the term is up, then they get this circular economy certificate. That's like the Friday.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of companies that have these sort of take back programs. Like Lenovo has their asset recovery services, where you can just get value from their old gear, and then they kind of roll into new equipment. Dell, HPE have similar programs. So it's a really good way, especially for small and medium businesses, to be able to scale up their IT, and kind of I think a couple of things. One, keep up their their digital transformation and keep up with emerging technology, but also when there is the lack of availability of technology, they can get things, that will sort of fill in the gap. And all of these things that are turned in, like Cisco Refresh program, they are fully refreshed, like to brand new, and they're like recertified. Everything is like, the warranty is just as if it was brand new, and then sent back out. So a lot of green initiatives happening in the IT space. And
Yeah, it makes total
overlapping.
sense. Makes
Yeah,
total sense. I mean, given that, I mean, as analysts, we can kind of call it as it is. I mean, there's a lot of polluting going on with IT, just making IT equipment. I mean, it's made out of plastic, the semiconductor, we're using acid, we're using environmentally unfriendly things. So using less recycling and going circular is super important. And in fact, Walker and I wrote a white paper years back about HPE and how they do circular economy. If you want to check it out, I put it in the show notes. And I actually got a visit to HPE's recycling facility where they'll take almost any brand name of equipment, including IBM, Dell, and bring them in and do one of two things: either get them into working order to put them back out, or to be able to pull them apart and
hmm
do some more intelligent recycling, right?
yeah,
So yeah, I mean this is, it's funny, we write, gosh, I think I've written about 30 companies ESG reports, and the big sustainability piece. It's important, and it's somewhat become a political issue, and I understand it. But one thing I found that everybody can get behind is getting more efficient and using less. There is
hmm
nobody I've talked to, regardless of what side of the table you're on, that doesn't think
right,
that's just a really a good thing to do.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I've heard that from a lot of companies. I know Lenovo also takes back pretty much anybody's product. Um, Cisco takes back most products, not some direct competitors, but and again, like kind of how this ties back, because it maybe seems a little bit weird to bring this up in fintech or retail, through Friday. Now I really like that word, through Friday. Is that a lot of these programs do come out of their leasing or financing groups, because that's where the products are financed and then returned. So it is part of that circular economy of how these products kind of come in and out of um, their supply chain.
It's good. Good. I think we got all the oxygen out of that one we could. Let's move to the next topic, the new pay cycle. We have companies like Wagestream, PayActiv, and other fintechs offering flexible wage payments. Gosh, something new. This stuff just amazes me.
Yeah.
You blew my mind with buy now, pay later, and the fact that it wasn't a credit card and it's something
Right.
different. And here we are. This is like get paid early, payback later. I don't know. I'm going to let you take
Yeah.
this. You're the
This
expert.
this is actually get paid, and we're gonna kind of go a little bit out of order here and have our acronym of the week a little bit early, which is EWA, which is Earned Wage Access. And basically, what this is, the wage stream. They just raised $175 million, which that's significant, right? And it shows that this is a hot space. And PayActiv, other fintechs are offering this kind of flexible wage payment. Even companies like Walmart, McDonald's, now ADP is even offering a solution for this. And it's earned wage payment. So basically, instead of waiting for every other Friday to get paid, companies are offering payment as the work is done, essentially. So, um, I just saw the aha moment. You're like, oh, I see,
I
right?
get this, but it's
So
like
there's
I've been kind of doing this. Like I pay people. Well, actually, I pay people when I get paid. So I better watch my mouth there.
right. But there's a huge population still that's living paycheck to paycheck. And so this is a solution where people get paid for the work that they've done. And I saw there are two different studies. Visa and Payments did a study that said like 78% of people, 79%, of surveyed workers were more willing to switch to employers already offering EWA. And ADP says 81% would rather work for an employer who offers early wage access than one that doesn't. So people are finding this really valuable. What I find interesting here is that there are some people who are really against it, kind of like, sort of like buy now, pay later, where they're, likening it to a payday loan. I don't see it that way. I think that if somebody comes and mows my lawn and wants to get paid at the end of the day, I see that they've done that day's work. Why shouldn't I pay him that day? Why does he have to wait until the end of the month to get paid? So if the same is happening, in a more corporate environment, I can see how like companies could be, on both sides of that, where one, they want the employee retention, but two, they want the float on that money,
Yeah.
But I don't see it as a payday loan at all. I see it as people getting access to the money that they've already earned.
They've already earned. Exactly. In fact, this seems more to me like a workers' rights type of thing where you get paid as you do the work. I mean, it's, the whole getting paid 2 weeks goes back to cutting live checks, right? Which you had to print them, they had to get approved, somebody needed to sign them.
Right.
Yes, paychecks actually used to be personally signed, and even today for small businesses, they still are.
Yeah.
So where is this being implemented? Like, who's doing this?
Walmart is doing it. McDonald's is doing it. And then I mean, ADP is doing it. So I imagine there's a ton of companies that are doing it. And then there's different ways that it's happening. And this is, I think, where kind of some of the objection is coming up, is that it's how it's happening, that if there's a charge for the transaction. So if you want your money, today, but that involves like a 5% transaction fee, that's where I can see, people saying like, wait, hold on, that's when it becomes the payday loan kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there are companies like Wagestream that offer like a debit card transaction. So it gets loaded onto a debit card, and then how they make their money is that debit card is used, and then the merchant fee is where they make their money. So it's only when somebody uses the debit card, just like, any credit card or debit card would be used, and the merchant fee is how the money is made, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it strikes me as a new way to kind of get at and undermine ADP and some of the folks, the paychecks folks, right? Just trying to drive in and do it a different way and really shake this up.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's just so many ways that employers need to compete right now for workers. The the demand is there. There's a lot of people who are shifting to, the gig economy because they can get paid, sort of instantly. And so this is another way for them to offer something that is, an incentive for employees like McDonald's. Those are most likely employees who need the money faster than somebody who's going to work at, a large corporation.
Yeah, I can totally see that. But it's funny, if you could ask me to guess that something like this was coming, I probably would have never guessed that. I guess that's why I am not a fintech analyst. It's like, just when you think you've seen something new comes out, but it makes perfect sense, right? Taking the friction out of something that, whose 2 week, or every, 14-day time cycle and calendar was based on printed and signed checks and mailed checks.
And mailing. Yeah. Yeah. I just wonder if, there's some big company CFOs out there that are looking at the float that they're going to lose on payroll.
It's kind of gross. It is gross, but then again, I mean, yeah, I mean, we're all kind of taking float back and forth. I mean, heck, we have trillion-dollar companies who pay us late, and the fact that they're kind of financing their businesses on the back of my small business is not cool.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be great if we got paid the second a research report went out? That would be great.
That'd be great.
Hey, let's move on to the next topic here. This is a retail discussion here about the experience experiment.
Yeah. So this McDonald's. Do you have the lovely photo of this McDonald's?
I do. Let me get this up there.
So this actually, it really was an experience experiment. This is a McDonald's in Australia, and this started out not really intending to be this like experiential thing. It meant it was a lack of space problem, but then became this like really cool experience. But this really is like it's a trend that retailers have to pay attention to now, especially as people are going back into brick and mortar stores, because people really do prioritize experience over things. And so prioritizing experience over just things involves, all of the, not just what, everybody refers to as like omnichannel, but personalization, community, testing. These are all like the keys to success. But this I thought was like a really interesting kind of example of like a true what just happened there?
This just happened.
Oh, that, okay. Wow.
You can walk us through what's going on in here.
Yeah, so people order and then they see like a lot of the stuff is being made up on the second level because it's like vertical. I'm talking with my hands here. It's a vertical shop, but you see everything that's happening and then you see it all come down. And in places where there's lack of space, there is often like that kitchen upstairs, but they have this fully open. So just people, they say that people are like arriving at the airport early just to check this out, just to see it. But there's a number of stores, like not just, McDonald's. I can't believe we've talked about McDonald's twice on this podcast.
Oh my gosh, I know.
It's kind of funny. But 74% of Americans surveyed say that they prioritize experience over products and things. And this is happening all over now, that especially now that people are returning to stores. Like right now, Chanel has this pop-up happening here in Austin where instead of just going in and buying makeup and perfume, I think it's mostly, I don't think it's like products like handbags and clothes, but instead of just buying the products and perfume, you can actually like tinker with it and play with it and do all these things. We're seeing like a lot of pop-up stores, that this is happening all over the place. Lululemon, all these like sporting good places where you can actually go in and they're like the golf simulators. Been, like one of the stores that's been doing this for quite some time is Bass Pro Shops. I think this is a trend that we're going to see more and more, is that you can go into a store and really have a true experience. And that starts with the associates. And a lot right now is being invested in the kind of the training and the experience of like your first experience with the associate when you walk into a store, and the training of those associates and all like the data that they have to have in order to best serve the customers. So again, back to just making it an experience, not just walking into a store and picking something up and leaving, but actually like really making it a like a fun outing. I sometimes just want to walk into a store and grab something and leave, though. I've got to be honest with that.
Yeah, these crazy millennials and
Uh-huh.
Gen Z are shaking it up. And in some areas, I love it. I mean, I'm a Gen Xer, and we brought you, 100 cable channels versus having three,
Yeah.
right? Brought you HBO and pay per view.
Hmm.
Things like Amazon.com 1.0. That's what my generation brought. I don't know if I need a million different channels to choose from. Maybe I do. Maybe I just don't know it.
I
We'll
just
see.
actually cut back on the number of channels I have. There, I realize, we don't really even watch that much TV here, so there's not really a reason for it.
Yeah.
But I did walk into Total Wine the other day, which is a fabulous experience store. But when I walk into Total Wine at 10 a.m. and I'm offered like 7 different samples of booze, I'm like, I would really love that at like 5:30. But
Yes. Yes.
10 a.m., I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like these experiences. We were buying very expensive hats in Aspen. I think the name of the store is Kimosabi, and you come in, and not only do they know everything about you, um, um, uh, they serve you drinks, they serve you, and they
Yeah.
customize your hats there.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe I have a little millennial or Gen Z in me, or maybe my definition of experience is just possibly different.
Yeah. Well, a lot of places now, I think it started with the pandemic and having to limit the number of people inside stores, but a lot of stores are requiring appointments because
Mm-hmm.
they want to have that like one-on-one and really provide a great experience for people. And I do
Yeah,
think, some of that was trying to limit the number of people in a store, but now it's remaining. But like Dick's Sporting Goods, they have this house of sport in I think it's in New York City, or in no in somewhere in New York. But they have batting cages, so like if you want to try out some bats, you can do that. They've got like a track, so you can, if you're just trying on shoes, you can actually really
yeah.
try the shoes. So it's not just shopping, right? So there's a lot of like really fun things happening. But
Experience
again,
economy.
yep.
Experience economy. What will we pay for? We will pay for experiences. So hey,
Yeah.
let's go into what's coming up. What's on your mind? What are you up to next
So
couple weeks?
I think the next couple of weeks we got some events happening.
Yes, we
Um,
do. Which
yeah.
one? Microsoft Industry Cloud is one.
Yep. And what else do I have?
Well,
Oh,
let's uh,
the
let's hit that up. Hang on one second.
Envestnet. Oh yeah. What were you hitting up? Sorry.
Sorry, I was going to flash up the Microsoft site, but I pressed the wrong button
Oh,
and
okay.
I shut that down.
Oh,
So,
yeah. And then the Envestnet Advisor Summit is also coming up.
where are you
So,
going to Envestnet Advisor Summit, other than
um,
being in Raleigh?
that's in, yeah, North Carolina. Or, yep,
Actually, Charlotte. Sorry.
Charlotte, North Carolina. And the Microsoft Industry Cloud event is in Boston.
There we go. Yeah, industry clouds are kind of the thing that everybody's doing.
Mhm.
Once I think people believe that the kind of the homogeneous cloud was all buttoned up, which by the way it's not, right? Only 25% of workloads are currently in the cloud, but now Microsoft, AWS, Google, IBM Cloud, Oracle Cloud, and Azure are doing it all. So yeah, I won't be able to make that. Or is the Microsoft Cloud a virtual event, or is it face to face?
There's 2 events. The one that's in California is virtual, and then the one in Boston is face to face.
That's good. Excellent. Yeah, I'm traveling almost the entire month of May, so I'm taking a deep breath. And between business and personal trips, I'll be traveling 5 weeks. So
Yeah.
We will see.
I'll take lots of notes and I'll give you all the download.
I appreciate that. So, hey, this is a wrap. I want to thank everybody for tuning in for this week's version of FinTech and Retail Tech Friday. And thanks for tuning in early. We'll see what the response is, right? I don't think everybody's gone for the week yet. This is kind of why we're doing this today. I appreciate you fitting this into your schedule, Melody. And thanks for tuning in, and give us feedback on Twitter. We're both very active on there. And until then, we'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care.